Hi, my name is Jessie Campbell, and this is my presentation on inclusive leadership. The 5 levels of leadership are model the way, inspire a shared vision, challenge the process, enable others to act, and encourage the heart. I believe that these are 5 very important characteristics and traits to have as a leader in every aspect that you are leading. The first article that I read was about shared leadership. It was by the Peter Senge and Learning Organization. This article really talked about the theory of shared leadership. It did talk about inclusion, which put together I thought was a very interesting article. Shared leadership is opening up decisions to the group and team and allowing for all members to take ownership and have decisions within the program. Diversity should be seen as an advantage within a company or group. Different backgrounds can lead to greater success. So really opening up the main idea and ideas for everyone in shared leadership is vital. The 5 points of shared leadership are ethics, democratic leadership, and shared leadership, ownership, learning, and sharing. The first one that I thought was really interesting was ethics and being an ethical leader. The article gave a kind of a dramatic example, and it was about Adolf Hitler's example of leadership. He obviously was not a moral leader, but he was able to influence and had the ability to do what he did. He had a vision and was able to energize a large group of people to do this terrible thing. And though it is drastic, it's a drastic example, it is important to know as a leader how you are leading your group. Are you leading them ethically? Are you leading them down a good path? Is your result going to be good? Are you leading these people to be good people, or are you leading them down a path of destruction and a path that's not good for your company? So as a leader, you should not have abusive power or hoard privileges or encourage deceit, act inconsistently, misplace or betray loyalties, or fail to assume responsibilities. And those are important things not to do as a leader. The next would be democratic leadership and shared leadership. So shared leadership is a form of democratic leadership. And democratic leadership involves people and can foster beliefs in democratic principles and processes such as self-determination and participation. So having it really opened up to the group and having everyone be responsible and then sharing their knowledge. And so that is important in inclusion, because having different backgrounds and different minds work towards a common goal will open up to different avenues of success. So on top of democratic leadership, shared leadership allows leaders principles while including everyday behaviors that is inclusive and looks to enrich lives. The next would be shared leadership. And what shared leadership has within itself is ownership, learning, and sharing. So ownership in shared leadership allows for people in the group to take on a project or problem and then take it upon themselves to find the conclusion or find the answer to this problem. And if you have ownership in something, you're more likely to see it through and be committed to it. And then learning, as a teacher, I believe you're always learning. And as a leader, you should be too, because if you're not learning and staying stagnant, you're not going to see as great success. You need to take the good and the bad and apply it and see the best outcome for your company, team, etc. And then sharing, really being open-minded to all minds, all backgrounds, all people, and what their idea of the outcome for this process is. Ownership is very important because the issue by involving people and thinking in the process are more likely to stay committed and finish something out. And if it's successful, they will have pride in it. And if it's unsuccessful, they can know their mistakes, and then other people can help them to learn from those mistakes and grow. The next would be learning. Wise people, in the article talk about this, that wise people aren't books. They're not encyclopedias. They're not the internet. Wise people are people that take the things they have learned and are able to apply them to situations. And in that process, wise people are able to reflect on a situation and encourage others to do so as well. So really learning from the process is very big in shared learning. Next would be sharing. This is very important in leadership because it's allowing all minds to have a voice. And being respectful and opening lines of communication and allowing for everyone to have a view and really valuing people's opinions. Then there's classical leadership versus shared leadership. Really what this breaks it down into is what we used to view leadership as and what shared leadership is now. And from shared leadership and inclusion, one of the main things is that people are interdependent. All are active participants in the process of leadership, and that is very important in inclusion of all people. The second article I read was Inclusive Leadership by Diana Bilmora, and it set 2 behaviors, valuing and respect, and high and engagement culture through input. Valuing and respecting talents and contributions. Within every leadership setting, there will be diversity, gender, race, culture, whatever it may be. A leader must use the talents of all parties. Leaders should utilize the backgrounds as an advantage. Using different avenues of talent will lead to better success. Leading diverse groups can cause challenges, and if members are biased or disrespectful, it is the leader's job to show that disrespect will not be allowed and is not accepted, and that those leaders are accountable of taking care of those behaviors. The next is encourage the input and initiative of all employees. So treating all opinions openly and respectfully. Again, that goes with shared leadership. Listening to all of these different minds, these different backgrounds, and then coming up with a goal or an initiative to face and really overcome the issue and understanding the problem. So if all minds thought the same, there would be no different outcomes. It would just be same and no growth. And I think with using different minds and different backgrounds and people of different ages and different genders can allow all of these different outcomes, and it's a great opportunity to have a company grow. For me, the way I see leadership as a reading specialist is being a leader as a reading specialist is going to be a very hard task. It's going to be a challenge. I view a reading specialist as a person that works with either an individual student or a small group and improving their reading skills. Though that is not the only responsibility of a reading specialist. A reading specialist is responsible for giving teachers ideas and working with teachers. A reading specialist is required to lead teachers by giving strategies or feedback on their student. The common goal of the team, which would be reading specialists and teachers, is to have students make gains in their reading. That requires the team to communicate and share what they see the needs are, how they will meet those needs, and how they will work together to make sure the needs are being met. And so a reading specialist is a little unlike a teacher in that they are leading a group of teachers too. They have to communicate and share what they see with those teachers, and the teachers then share and talk with them, and then they can work on strategies. So it's very important to have leadership as a reading specialist. One of the quotes in the reading from the book in chapter 11 struck me, and it struck me in inclusion too. And people act in ways that are consistent with others' expectations of them. So as a leader, if my expectations are low, if I see this person as, they're just gonna achieve right here, those people are going to meet those expectations. You have to set your bar high for people. You have to believe in them. You have to encourage them, and you have to build them up. And you're not going to get the most out of them if your expectations aren't very high of them. So, and in teaching, in life, when you encounter people, it is important to value them and to value who they are and have high regards for them so that they can exceed all expectations. And then lastly, these are the sources that I used for this presentation. I hope you enjoyed my presentation, and I have really enjoyed this class, and I believe that it is important to have leadership, and I believe it's important for a lot of people, all people, to know what leadership is, what good leadership should look like, and how to be a good leader. So I have found this class to be very beneficial to me in my life. Thank you so much.